It's not something I'm proud of, but it's something I've come to accept that, yeah, I do love a red flag. Like, you got all these green flags. You're like, no, boring. Oh, red flag. There you go. Yeah.
Like, I don't like that, but I do like that.
She's unstable. I like that.
It's a little bit of excitement. You never know what you're going to get. That's what we dived right into, right? Self-defense, which I feel like we need to share that a little bit. Yeah. So I said I would use my Stanley Cup in self-defense. Mm-hmm.
I said sometimes I leave fruit in my car. You just never know when you might have to hit someone with it. Self-defense only, not just like random.
Well, I mean, if you needed it, you have it at your disposal just in case.
I mean, in case someone cuts you off, you know what I mean?
Right. You
apple.
You just casually roll your window down and throw an apple out at somebody. That would be so badass.
I know.
I could not imagine just driving on the highway and seeing that in action.
Throwing fruit. See, that's why I can't be a full Buddhist. It's the anger issues.
The anger issues. I thought you were going to talk about the karma thing, because is Buddhism when they think that you come back as
yeah. Well, karma now or karma in the next life. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you put out there, you get back. So if you do it in self-defense, it doesn't count.
Okay. That's fair.
Towards the karma. Yeah.
Right. But if you throw an apple at somebody, you may come back as a rat.
Maybe.
It's very possible. Chrissy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here. You are hilarious. Anytime I've seen you perform, so funny. So I'm so pumped to have you.
Thank you.
We were just recently at 565 where there was 1 million comics in a very small room.
First 50 jokes of the year. Yep.
It was craziness. Literally insane. And you just killed it. You had 2 minutes and you fucking killed it.
Oh, thank you. That's good. I never really remember what I say when I leave the stage. I'm like, I forgot actually the jokes I told.
You just leave it. You just leave it at the door and keep going.
It just I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of black out. I don't know. I don't even remember the joke I did. But thank you. Yeah.
I feel like that does happen. You're on stage and you get off and you're like, what did I just? Did I say something?
Yeah.
What? So for that show, how did you prepare? Or did you have something kind of ready to rock, or did you just go up and say something?
I think for that show there was supposed to be the first new joke of the year, and I think we did it on the 5th, right?
I think so.
That was the first show I did in the year. No, I just wrote something for that night.
Nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I love your description. So I did creep on your website, because before people come on, I like to creep on their social media websites, to kind of get
I
to
finally
know
have a
them.
website. Yeah.
It's very profesh.
Oh, thank you.
Very
My friend, who is a boomer, put most of it together for me.
Shout out to your friend. Did a great job. I love this quote about you. Chrissy Costa is a stand-up comedian and writer. She also does all kinds of other things to pay her bills.
I sure do.
She loves chasing red flags.
I know, I love a red flag.
Don't we all?
Right?
Manhattans, swimming in above ground pools, and stealing from Denny's. So I feel like we need to break this down a little bit.
Okay. Well, the stealing from, you can break it down however you want, but the stealing from Denny's comes from a joke that I've told. It's actually on my website.
Okay.
But we can break it down however you want.
I want to know what you're stealing from Denny's. Let's start there.
So I have this joke that I've done. It's on the website. It's about being gay and people telling me my whole life that I was going to go to hell. And finally I was like, you know what? I don't care, because if I do, I'll see my grandma again. And some people that's dark. But and so the whole story goes, she wasn't gay or anything, but she did steal from Denny's, and she taught me to steal from Denny's as well.
So what were you stealing from Denny's?
I'd be there and she'd be like, last time we were here, you took the salt, right? And I'd be like, yeah. And she'd be like, you know what that means? And I'd be like, pepper.
Obviously.
So just random butter knives. Anybody else's grandparents do that?
So I've actually done this before.
Silverware, I don't.
Or cups.
She didn't need any of it. She would take things, and then me and my siblings would as well, kind of get it for her. I was excited to steal for her, but she would make it
It's a
they
family
want you
moment.
to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we didn't realize we were stealing. Same as like in the hotels, like, and she would like prepare you. She'd be like, okay, I'm going to Atlantic City next month. And you know, they want you to take the towels.
So you had it in your mind, like, got to take the towels back for grandma.
Absolutely.
She asked for it, like, obviously. You know,
So now
just
it's
doing something
become
nice.
just like a thing. Like it's funny to me, you know,
I think it's hilarious.
to take like small things, not like,
Like,
you
it's
know,
not harming anybody.
for grandma.
Right. It's for grandmama.
Or as I said, for grandma down there.
Yeah, for grandma. We're thinking of her. I've like taken cups and stuff before because sometimes you're at restaurants and they're cool cups.
Yeah.
I mean, do they need it?
I do that too. And my friend who did my website was like, anytime I've done that with her, she'll go back up and pay for it. She's like, you have to stop doing that.
No.
I'm like,
come
that's the whole fun of
on.
it. You know,
Right.
I'm like, they want you to take it. That's what I'm
Grandma taught me that this
Right?
is cool. We
So-
can do this.
So yeah, that's where the stealing from Denny's quote comes from.
And I love that it's exclusively a ground or above ground pools.
Oh,
like, just
yeah.
exclusively that.
I can't swim.
I can't either.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I never learned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I avoid large bodies of water.
Yeah, me too. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, if you ever see me out kayaking or like anywhere, just know that I'm trying to date someone.
You're trying to impress
That-
somebody.
yeah. There's someone on that trip I'm trying to date because I would never just go out on my own.
God, no, I can't imagine like your feet like or your legs like being stuck in like a thing and like
In the,
you're in the
like
water.
in the canoe or the kayak.
Yes.
That claustrophobia. I can't swim. Yeah. So that's like the worst place that I would be. So yeah, if you see me on Instagram on a kayak, just be like, yeah, she's getting lucky.
Or like I know what she's doing here. She's she's working, and
Right?
we all love and appreciate it.
I love nature from afar. So
Oh, don't even get me started. I love it from afar as well. Like it's nice. It's a nice thought. But if someone's like, I just love like being out and like hiking, I'm like,
hiking, that's what gets me. Yeah. The whole hiking. Why does every younger woman want to hike?
I don't know. I don't want to.
It's very
hike.
popular with lesbians.
Really?
I
Why?
don't know.
Are you like, I love it too?
I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. No, that's why I date older women. I need a woman with like bronchitis or like
Doesn't like to go outside often.
asthma, chronic bronchitis, anything that'll keep us out of the woods.
You got to put that on the dating profile, or like that's one of the
should.
first questions you ask.
Yeah. Do you
think
love to hike?
Yeah.
Swipe right.
Nope. This isn't gonna work for us. It's just there's too many unknowns, and like it
Yeah.
gets hot or cold, or there's animals,
Or you have to pee, or like things like that, like things I think about, you know, because I did grow up with my grandparents a lot, and like so I'm always like, where's the like I'm always thinking about where the bathroom is, or like an 80-year-old. But yeah, I don't get it. I'm glad you don't like to hike though.
I don't. I just anytime I have a chance to talk about how much I don't like it, I definitely will. And I feel like on like Hinge, like I'll look through dating profiles of like guys, and like everybody's fucking hiking, and I'm
The
like,
guys hike too?
Wha- oh my God, everyone
Are you
hikes.
serious?
They're on mountains. I'm like, why are we in deserts in the middle of mountains? Like,
I didn't know
why?
guys did that.
Oh my God, so many men.
Wow.
Abby Elias and I had a whole conversation about this with hiking and dogs. Like it's just an animal or it's hiking. It's too much.
Honest to God, I didn't know men hiked.
They do.
I thought they did it for the women in their lives if they did it.
No, because
Wow.
I would never say to a man, you know what I want to do this afternoon? I want to go on a hike.
Right.
Get out like my hiking shoes.
Right?
Ew.
Oh, that's the worst.
No, never.
Yeah, I had this one girl. I did start to go on a hike, and she was explaining to me the different type of hiking shoes, and she was like, if you get the ones that go above your ankle, you know, that'll help with support and whatnot. And I was like, listen, if you say one more word, I'm gonna start sucking dick again. Like I cannot. This is too hard. Like I cannot.
No, like, this isn't the conversation I want to be having
No.
ever with anyone.
Right.
Supportive ankles? Ew.
Ankle support keen shoes or something. I don't know. Like it's not.
Just immediately left the mind. Like,
Yeah.
just like, no, we're not doing this. Don't you also feel as like an adult? Like I feel like I should know how to swim, but like I feel like now I can't like go to the YMCA and be like,
It's too late. Yeah.
I think we missed our window.
Yeah. So actually, Yeah, I couldn't swim as a kid. And then I had an ex try to teach me. I've had actually many people in my life try to teach me, but she actually bought me swimming lessons before I moved to Chicago years ago. And so I'm in I think it was the YMCA, and my instructor was like 20 years old. And so I was older than her, and she was trying to teach me, and she was like, "Yeah, a girl," and I was just like, "This, I can't do this. This
No,
is
that's
ridiculous."
gross.
Yeah, and I even so I passed, but I really didn't. Like I could float, but I somehow found a way to convince them I could swim, and I still can't swim.
Really?
Yeah, I even got a trophy afterwards.
You got a trophy?
I think my ex made it, yeah, but it was like the Fins and Gills Award or something. I don't know, it was something. It was stupid.
That's nice.
But yeah, I still can't swim.
It's amazing that you like tricked people into thinking that like you definitely could. Like I feel like I don't have the coordination. They'd be like, she definitely still doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
I don't know how I did it, honestly. I think they were just like, let's get her out of here. She's too old.
Like, just make her think she'll be okay. Just don't take her to the ocean, the large bodies of water. Maybe
she'll be good. That wasn't the first time. When I was in high school, I was in the public safety program at my high school, and so it was like fire, EMS, and police type work we would learn.
Damn.
And I actually got certified for river rescue, and I couldn't swim.
How?
I have no idea.
How are you bamboozling these people?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the politician in my blood. I don't know what it is, but
it might be.
It might be, but I hate politics. But I don't know. But I, again, somehow convinced them that I should be certified. But I couldn't save anybody. I couldn't even save myself.
Right. It's like, but you somehow are now like certified. Well, that's good to know. So if like I'm ever in like a bad river situation and you're around, I'm like,
call me.
Not her. We'll both die.
Right.
Will not be good. Chasing red flags is also really, really fun.
It's not something I'm proud of, but it's something I've come to accept that, I do love a red flag. Like, you got all these green flags. You're like, no, boring. Ooh, red flag. There you go. Yeah.
Like, I don't like that, but I do like that.
She's unstable. I like that.
It's a little bit of excitement. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to work on that, but I'm just being honest about it. It's just more attractive for some reason. I've had conversations with friends, who date. My girlfriend dates guys, and she's the same way. She loves a red flag. I'm like, what is wrong? What is wrong with us? Yeah,
I don't understand it. Why is it more appealing? Like, why do I want someone that just seems a little unhinged? And I'm like, well, this could be kind of exciing.
Yeah,
like I know that this isn't good for me.
Right. I know we're not hiking.
Yeah, I know we're not hiking. So obviously, yes. But a little unstable, why not?
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Right? It's that, I call it the toxic relationship sex.
Oh, is there anything better?
Right. I've asked audience that, and like it gets awkward when there's couples, because if they agree to it, they're either in a bad relationship, or the one woman, she was like, oh, I remember that. And I'm like, it's not the guy next to her, clearly. So that was uncomfortable for them.
Right.
It's kind of entertaining for me. But
that's like a great question to ask, though.
Yeah.
That's like so solid.
Right? That stuff has you, like, toxic relationship sex has you acting like a crack addict. Like,
it
you know
does.
what I mean? Like, you could have a high FICO score. Next thing you know, you're jumping out of the bushes like, who's Sheila? Like, it drives you crazy.
Like, what are you doing? You're like circling their house,
right?
Like just casually.
Just casually.
To make sure.
A few times a night, just casually.
Just making sure they're safe. I don't do that. I really should put on the record that that's not like a thing that I do.
Me neither.
No.
Anymore.
We would never. We would never do those things.
Never do it and then talk about it. God.
Gosh, no. But they are. And like, I feel like, well, like my girlfriends and I will talk about it, or I'm like, what am I thinking? Or he's emotionally unstable or emotionally unavailable. And I'm like, it's
the unavailability that's really sexy.
It's a challenge.
You're like, it's a challenge. You're like, I'm going to get them.
Yeah. This is my life's work now. Right? My sole purpose to live. I also really liked your tagline, catch her running off with your girlfriends. That's probably one of my favorite things off of your website.
Is it really?
Yes. I was like, this is so good. Like, yours is gold on your website. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, not that I ever really run off with anyone's girlfriend.
I was going to ask if you did, or if like you had a story you'd like to share.
Not really. I think that On My Way to Steal Your Girl is funny. That
It
whole,
is.
I don't know where that came from, but so I had a license plate made for, and then when I got it, it said On My Way to Steal Your Girl, and I thought, man, that's douchey. I'm not putting that on my car. I feel like a douchey guy. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was entertaining.
It would be funny though if you did put on your car and then you like roll up out of the car.
Oh, and I'm
it's
like,
so
yeah,
unexpected, and you have a bag of apples in your passenger seat. It's really a vibe,
Yeah.
that I appreciate. So let's talk a little bit about Burgh Bus, because I see you doing Burgh Bus when it was running.
Yeah.
And I've heard there's some pretty wild experiences on Burgh Bus.
There can be, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was one of the first to do a tour. Didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah. Did they approach you, or did you approach them about it?
I'm trying to think how that happened. I got a message from Steel City Arts Foundation, which I'm a member of.
Okay.
And they had mentioned that Nick Walker, the owner of Burgh Bus, was looking for people for the future. And they didn't exist yet, but I guess he was getting it in the works. So I sent him an email, and I just said, hey, this sounds interesting. Keep me in mind. And he did. So when they were getting started, he contacted me, and I went out and I met with him, and a little tour in the bus. And I was like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I ended up meeting him. And yeah, did one of the first tours with Jeff Fieldhouse, and I did it. Had a great time. It's kind of become a party bus.
Yeah, it seems like it's a party bus.
Which is how I prefer it. But I mean, if I
be.
could give tours too, I think that the party bus is a little more fun. But it's just like in comedy, like you're never going to please everybody. Like someone is always going to be like 90% of the bus can have a great time. There's going to be that one person who's like, I wanted more info on Pittsburgh, you know.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest, that's not our strong point.
I mean, if you're going on it for like the scenic tour, like yes, but like also no when it's the party bus vibe.
Especially when it's like rainy and like you can't like when the there's no windows, but there's like tarps, clear tarps that come down on the sides. They'll keep you dry, but like you can't really interact. You can't really see much outside. So basically, you're just it's like a comedy show on wheels.
I love it.
But 90 minutes, and most people can't do comedy for not like 90 minutes. So you have like usually a partner that you bounce things off of, and then I honestly just try to feel out the crowd.
Yeah.
If I see somebody's not having a good time, I go up to them. I'm like, how do we make this better?
Right.
I try to give everybody a good experience. So
it's a good attitude to have, and to pick not to pick on, but to find the one person that's maybe not enjoying themselves and honing in on them and making sure they do have a good experience. It makes them feel a part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So what's some of the wild times that you've had on the bus? Because I've had a few other comedians on, and they have told me about some of the wild times on the Burgh Bus.
So I would say the last, one of the last tours that I did, not the last, but one of the last, Samantha Bentley and we do a lot of co-hosting together. And
which dynamic duo?
Yeah,
by the way.
Actually, we also went to high school together and we didn't know each other. Yeah, she was a grade ahead of me, but we didn't know each other until maybe a few years ago.
What a small world! That's wild.
We both went to Peabody High School. So we were doing a tour together, and they always get a little bit out of control, but in a good way. But this particular one, we were it was a private tour.
Okay.
For Eye Candy, which is like a lesbian entertainment, kind of Eye Candy, how would I describe them? They do pretty much events for lesbians.
Okay.
Well, they did before the pandemic. So this was like the first event they did post-pandemic, if that's where we are.
We think. No one's really sure.
It's situational. But so, we had, it's like 40 people on the bus, or it was packed, so maybe 44. I think that's
a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
And someone brought me a Manhattan.
Oh, which
that
was
size.
listed?
Yeah, that size.
Fuck.
And I got so basically.
Fuck.
Sam and I got wasted. I blacked out before the bus ride was over.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think I tried to kiss my coworker. It was just,
It happens.
it happens. But so I did know a lot of people on there, so I don't feel as bad. Like if it was a group of strangers and I was like out of control.
Right.
I know I should look inward, but I do blame them.
No, we always reflect and look outward.
They got me absolutely wasted.
They gave
but
it
was
to you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And everybody had something. Like I usually bring drinks for people. These guys brought drinks for us, so like it was just a very party atmosphere. Everybody just wanted to let loose. There were like two angry lesbians on the bus, but that's normal. That's like, they weren't angry. They were like, they didn't look like they were having a good time. So I was like, I went up and I was like, what can make this better? And they're like, oh, we're having a good time. I'm like, well, your face doesn't say that, but whatever. But no, yeah, that was probably the wildest time I had. 'Cause that wasn't very professional, but I'm glad that it happened with mostly a group of people that I knew.
Right, for sure.
I was out of,
It was like strangers.
We were having a really good time, Sam and I. At one point, I think we forgot there were other people on the bus.
Like, where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah. That was the wildest, I think, on the Burgh Bus.
That is awesome. That sounds like such a good time.
Yeah.
So good, you had a large beverage, may or may not have blacked out, may or may not have made out with a coworker. It's fine. It's fine.
I didn't ask. I just left it there. Just floating.
Just leave it in the air. Up to interpretation.
Yeah.
You don't need to know. Oh my God, I love that. Also, I want to ask you about, I saw that you went to Second City. Mm-hmm. I want to hear all about it.
So I actually moved to Chicago to study at Second City. And I think I spent about 3 years out there. I did their writing program. And then I stayed after that was done, and I did some other writing programs. I did like the main writing program, sketch writing, and then I did pitching for TV, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So almost 3 years total I spent in Chicago, maybe a little over 2 at Second City. And I did Vanessa Bayer, who was on Saturday Night Live, who's doing a lot of other things now, was in my writing group.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I still have things that we wrote that, like, as a group that have her name on it, my name on it. And I'll be honest, even when I was there, we would read stuff from like Tina Fey, and like none of it was really that funny back then. Yeah. It was like everybody was new. And just finding their voice. So
probably
things
cool
weren't hilarious. Yeah. Like I'd like to look back on some of that, actually. I still have it. But no, so she was doing stand-up. The whole writing group was doing stand-up. I think I was one of maybe 2 people that weren't doing stand-up. And I was like so intimidated. I was like, I don't even know where to start, but that's how she got discovered. They have scouts that go out to like New York, LA, Chicago, and they look for people. Mm-hmm. I don't think that happens in Pittsburgh, but
I'm going to say maybe
not the same. Yeah. I think it's much bigger in Chicago, and she got discovered out there, and she deserved it. But so I think we wrote in the same group for almost 2 years.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. So you didn't do stand-up then. So when did you start doing stand-up? Because I just assumed you did both. Oh, no.
So I started stand-up it's going on 12 years. Wow. It was March of 2011. So long story short, I was in a relationship. I had a bad breakup, and I did a little rebound. If you guys ever rebounded.
Some of us may have, yes.
Yeah, you usually rebound. Yes. Well, not usually, but like sometimes you rebound with the absolute worst person. Mm-hmm. And I did with a friend's friend. I rebounded and moved to Joplin, Missouri. Which is, like, where's that?
Literally, where is that? Yeah. Is that like a real place?
It's a real place, yeah. So I moved out there to live in a trailer, and basically as soon as I got out there, her whole personality changed, and like she was, I emotionally cheating with someone at work. I don't know if she was actually physically cheating. Yeah. I found out she had all these issues. And I was like, great, I'm so glad I moved to Joplin, Missouri.
Seems very rewarding.
Yeah. And I felt stuck out there. It was like the lowest of lows. And I had subletted my place in Pittsburgh. So I was finally, when I was able to get my place back, I came right back to Pittsburgh. And I did. It was like the lowest of the lows. And I had always written comedy. I used to write as if I wrote for The Onion, because when I lived in Chicago, The Onion was, it was a newspaper you could pick up. It wasn't like just this online thing. And I always wanted to write for them, but they never hired anyone outside of their circle.
Oh, okay.
So I would pretend to write for them, and I would write fake stories on like MySpace, and when MySpace was like big.
MySpace.
Right? Oh, I'm aging myself. And then I would do it, and I on like Facebook. And so anyway, this local comedian in Pittsburgh was like, "Hey, you write funny stuff. You ever think of doing stand up?" And I was like, people have told me to do it, but I just couldn't, and I said, maybe someday, and she was like, well, how about Tuesday? And it was Thursday, and I was like, oh shit, like I have 5 days and I didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, I just put some stuff together and I did it, and I've been doing it ever since.
Well, thank God she said something to you, because you need to be on stage.
Oh, thank you.
Telling the jokes. Like, you were so incredibly funny.
Thank you.
Do you think you would have pushed yourself to do it had she not said something to you? Do you think it would have eventually happened?
I mean, I think if it was meant to be, it would happen. I don't know how it would have happened, but it was something I definitely needed pushed to do. And with her saying that at the right time, like me feeling so low, I was like, what can I like possibly, how could I feel worse? I moved to a trailer to get cheated on and ended up getting a neck tattoo in Missouri. Yeah, I have this neck tattoo. Yeah, that I got there that I'll never forget in Missouri now.
Never forget.
Never. But nobody even heard of Joplin, Missouri. And then when I came back home, it was a couple months later, there was a huge tornado, and it wiped half the town away. And that was the only time I'd ever heard of Joplin, Missouri, other than living there. Yeah. So it was all meant to be. I was meant to come back to Pittsburgh. And yeah, that's how that started. So
that's wild.
That's why I try to embrace everything, because even sometimes like things happen, you feel betrayed by someone. Like I have just sat with it, and then doors open that like, for me personally, like, that I probably wouldn't have been open to had, certain things not gone certain ways. So there's always a silver lining is my point.
There is always a silver lining. And I think that's really good advice to give, because sometimes if things are good, or even if they're bad, like if you sit in it and just embrace it, like some things, good things will come out of those bad things.
Absolutely.
So I definitely agree with that mindset 100%. And especially like you were in the middle of Missouri and something good came out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am going to Google that place. Like once like we're done here, like I do need to see what it looks like.
Tell me what it's known for, because it felt like I was in a time warp. I felt like I was back in.
Do we look it up now?
Sure.
Let's look it up now.
When I lived there, and I remember we would go bowling, and everyone was smoking in the bowling alley, and I was like, is this 1985?
Like literally.
Yeah.
All right. I put things to do in Joplin, Missouri.
Die.
They're going to say nothing.
Move.
They do have a very appealing photo on their website. I did not expect them to have
What is that?
a
what
website.
Building is that? It's a website to Joplin.
A crossroads of culture lies tucked away in the Ozarks of Southwest Missouri.
Interesting.
That's all it says. We're more than a destination. We think Joplin's the next place to be.
Yeah.
That's
what they said about Braddock, and I'm still waiting on. I'm like, any day now.
They're bowling, kind of. I mean, there's no smoking involved.
Maybe they finally banned it.
Fish tacos. They're really, I think, trying to fluff this up. I don't really see anything.
Yeah, I did not have a fish taco there.
It's probably good. You're alive.
Right.
I feel like it's not the place to go for a fish taco.
No. There was a new seafood buffet that opened when I was there, and I remember taking the girl that I lived with, which was a horrible idea because she was bulimic, and I didn't realize
God,
someone with bulimia should probably not be in a buffet. So yeah, we were not good together, clearly.
No.
I triggered her bulimia. She cheated on me. It's
fine. It was a fair trade-off.
Fair trade for sure.
Red flags. We love to hate them. Hate to love them.
Hey, but they led to stand-up in a way, so.
They did. So, like, honestly, I mean, in that fucked up scenario, like, you got something great out of it.
Yeah.
So, positives. Yay, Joplin.
Yeah.
I feel like you need like a bench there or something. Like you need something there. It's like a memento of your time. And all the things that you're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive into some Dammit moments.
Oh, okay.
Because you said you have a few.
Well, the Burgh Bus was one of them for sure.
Okay.
So a Dammit moment where I'm like, is that where I'm like, fuck, why'd I do that? I kind of had one. It's entertaining. So on Halloween, I went to, and this is a drunk one.
Oh, yes. We love those.
My goal was like, don't get too drunk tonight, Chrissy.
Should give yourself a pep talk. Sometimes I give myself a pep talk. Yeah.
Like, 5 shots. That's it. That's your limit.
It's your limit, maximum, no more.
And that's what I did. So anyway, I dressed up like Axl Rose. No, not Axl Rose. Slash.
Love it.
Because the theme was slasher movies, but I couldn't. Everything I had was already taken. So I was like, I'm just going to do the pun and I'm going to be Slash. And I love dressing up as a man on Halloween. I love it. I get into the role. And for this particular one, I actually stuffed my pants with a little.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. So, and I thought that was, I thought it's just it's entertaining until you get into a car accident or something, and you go to hospital and everyone's like, "Wow, she has a penis."
Right? Like, what's this? It's a large amount of socks.
But so I didn't get in an accident, thank God. But anyway, so I go, and it's all my work friends, people I've become close to through film. Like I work in film also in Pittsburgh, and the people having the party were my employers though. So like there's to me I never know when like
is there a line, is there a boundary?
I try to know the line because I'm someone who will go over the line, so I try to be professional. And I was like, this we love each other, but they're still your employers. Just be a good girl tonight. And for the most part I was, and until the champagne hit. Oh. And I didn't even mean to get the champagne, and the hot tub happened. So long story short, I ended up in the hot tub with my pants off, dildo in my underwear, and still dressed up like Slash. And I blacked out. I don't know what happened in the hot tub.
You don't remember what happened?
But I do have a vague image of my coworker, not employer, my coworker, without a shirt on. Oh. And my boss is still in the hot tub. So I try not to think about that moment because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I did.
It's a repressed memory.
All I had to do was go to sleep and not have that champagne, or just go home. I had my 5 shots. It was like throughout 8 hours though, so 5 shots in 8 hours. I honestly was really taking care of myself.
Responsible.
But they passed around that champagne, and then I don't know. So that's not even the worst of it. The worst is I wake up wet in bed myself, but I still had the dildo in my underwear.
How did that stay with you all night long?
I don't know how I didn't get a yeast infection. I don't know how, it's hard to be a woman.
Oh God.
And a man. A woman as a man. Yeah.
Both
so that was
once.
definitely like a damn it moment where I'm like, man, I was really hitting my goal of like just keeping my shit together, and like I don't know what the fuck happened, but it spiraled quickly. And you know what? I think everyone, unless they watch this, I think they probably forgot themselves what happened in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything crazy happened, but just knowing that I had that on in my underwear in the hot tub. I hope I get hired again, but
we do hope that you have employment again.
So that was definitely a damn it moment.
You really committed to the entire role, which I do
That's what
appreciate
my
for
one
you.
friend, she goes, you really commit to a role. Like when I was Kanye West one year and she was Kim Kardashian, and I was in the role and my mouth was puffed out and I was just sitting there just so angry. If people come up and talk to me, I was feeling Kanye, and she was at one point she came over and she was like, enough. She was like, you have to stop being Kanye. I've had enough. So I really commit. And
I love that she had to say you have to stop being Kanye.
And it wasn't just her. She was just like, we've all agreed you need to stop being Kanye right now.
The whole party took a vote. They're like,
Yeah.
no more.
No more.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're done with this.
Yeah.
I am also just very impressed that the dildo stayed with you the
I don't know.
entire night.
Yeah. Through sleep. And then I woke up and I got dressed. And they were like, oh, it's time to watch Halloween movies. And I was like, well, I might as well just leave the dildo in and just sit and watch a movie because I was still hungover. Like, I don't even know if I was hungover. I was still drunk, really.
Oh, that's the worst when you wake up and like
Yeah.
you're still drunk. I had that like 2 weeks ago and I just was like, this is not preferred for me. I can't, like, I was not well. I projectile vomited for the first time in my life. Just not
Were you
good.
home? Hopefully you were home.
I was not. But I did make it to the bathroom because my friend's like, you do need to like eat something. Like you can't like lay here in like misery and sorrow like for the rest of your life. So I'm like, I'm passing away. Like it was so dramatic. And I like, and Coke's usually my remedy. Like, what do you have a hangover remedy?
Coke?
Yes, Coke is usually
Like cocaine?
No, like
Oh, I was like,
Coca-Cola. Sorry, I should have clarified.
You said that way too like
yes.
nonchalantly.
Not you
I
know,
love Coke. No.
not just Coke. I'm like Coca-Cola. Duh. Do you have a go-to though? Do you have something that like when you're hungover?
Aspirin and coffee.
Okay.
And then eventually a hot shower when I can get to that point, and Thai food or Chinese food. Yeah.
Ooh. Chinese food's always solid.
Heavy, greasy.
You need something like substantial. And like I was trying to do that and just was not happening.
Yeah.
And I knew in that moment, I'm like, this is going south very quickly for me.
Yeah.
And I did make it to the bathroom, which I'm
That's
hashtag
good.
blessed. So happy that happened. It gets the drinks get dangerous.
Yeah.
And the Manhattan's your fave.
I do love a bourbon, Manhattan or old fashioned. Yeah, I love tequila too.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Tequila's good.
the older I get, though, like my body's like, you just need to stop. Stop.
It, like the hangover like goes
The
into like a
hangover
few
goes
days.
way too long. Yeah.
A lot of like anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes. As to like what you did.
Damn it moments. Yeah.
Like, did I have a damn it moment? What happened in that hot tub? Nobody knows.
Nobody, my biggest fear is they know and I don't know.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
And then they like talk about it. And then you're like, and did I?
Right.
Is this a thing?
Whatever I did, I hope it was worthy of getting another job. But
We love employment here. It's always very cool.
yeah.
I also appreciated the one reel you posted after like you were stuck in your house after your surgery and you're like, all I want is my friends to bring me wine.
Yeah. First world problems, man.
It really is. Like how
Right.
rude.
Right.
It's what you need to
That's what
recover.
I want. And everyone's like, oh, I would bring you nothing. No, put it out there. Nobody brought any wine or anything. Yeah.
How are you supposed to get better?
I can't.
Like how are you supposed to bounce back?
I can't.
It's impossible. There's no
right?
way to, and you don't
Yeah.
have the necessary tools.
I mean, I already lost most of my women parts. Like, at least you can bring me a bottle of wine or something,
That's the least they can do.
right?
Honestly.
Yeah. Make up for not having I call it an internal baby carriage.
Internal baby carriage.
Yeah, because it carries the baby that I never had. Yeah, I had a hysterectomy.
Yay!
It was awesome. No, I just did it last week, and I still feel like I'm passing away.
I'm glad that you're not passing away.
Yeah.
I do greatly appreciate that you're like here in the flesh with
No,
me.
I you know what? I thought I had shows planned, and I thought I'm just gonna get out, and I thought 2-3 days I'll be all better. But my body was like, what?
Like no.
Yeah, pretty much everyone after was like, what the hell were you thinking?
You did drop it very casually, like when we were talking. Even like I
yeah.
didn't know what you were having done. But you're like, I'll be fine. I'm like, oh, maybe she has like a mole removed. I don't know.
I had no idea that hysterectomy was major surgery until the morning of my hysterectomy last week. And, all this stuff is like, they're giving me all this information. And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't, it's pretty crazy too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they basically put a couple holes in you and take out the parts they need, like, and they do it through your vagina. It's like, it's so
It's crazy.
I mean, I hope that's why my vagina's been sore.
I hope so.
I hope that's all that happened.
Yeah.
No, it's
Could have been another moment, like in another hot tub moment.
absolutely. Anesthesia. I don't. Yeah, that's one drug that you want to black out. Have some anesthesia. I don't remember anything. But yeah. So it was a major surgery. I just I don't know why I thought. The thing is, like, I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I worry about stupid stuff. Like, am I going to pee myself during surgery? Like things that would be embarrassing.
Right. That's
Like
fair.
things that are pretty vain, actually. I didn't worry about the surgery itself, and I didn't realize that the recovery was a little bit longer than I expected.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you have someone go with you? Because I would always like worry. Like I would worry that someone would like record me while I'm like, you know, like.
You wouldn't be a friend if you didn't record someone like that.
You're right.
Yeah, I did. It just so happened that one of my best friends was in town, and she took me to the surgery. She did have to leave and go back to New Mexico though, so I had another friend from Pittsburgh pick me up. So they kind of swapped.
That was nice.
But
of
yeah,
them.
they were there for me.
That was really nice of them to take care of you.
Yeah.
During a very casual
Very
surgery.
casual surgery. Yeah. Yeah, it took like 20 minutes to put socks on today, but
It's fine.
I'm here, yeah.
You're thriving. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's shout out some shows you have coming up.
okay. So where are we? January 25th. I think my next show actually is in New York, February. I'm going to New York February 4th through the 6th, I think, or
that's
4th and
awesome.
5th. So basically, I'm going to New York. I'm going to jump on a show in Manhattan Saturday night, and Sunday I'm recording, which is the reason I'm going. There's a show on Tubi TV called Choose Me, like CHEWS, and it's where 3 people cook for a blind date, and the blind date chooses the dish, and therefore chooses the person based on the dish.
Are you
yeah,
cooking a dish?
I will be, yeah. And so it's filmed in Brooklyn, New York.
This is awesome.
I don't know what I'm making yet. I just know that I cannot cook.
Me either.
Like I should. I'm like the first born girl in the family, Italian family. Like I should know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could like duplicate some recipes, but I'm really not that great of a cook. Like that I should be, you know.
So are you gonna like practice? Are you like going in with a plan? Like
I don't know. So you only have $35 to spend on food.
Okay.
So I'm going to buy my food in Pittsburgh. I think
Okay.
because I think everybody else that's doing this is going to be New York based. So I know where to shop here. I can get probably a better deal. So $35. I think what I'm going to do is get like a nice wine or something and like a pasta.
ooh.
Try to win her over with the wine. But I don't even want to win the date, to be honest.
What if you do though? Like what if you
Oh,
win
I'm
the
going
date?
to just because I don't want to.
You will, yeah. You obviously are going to. So like what's the next step, you know?
I don't think they push it on you, but I do have to come home to Pittsburgh. But I mean, I guess it's a challenge. Let me see if I can win this thing, you know? So I did watch some of the episodes on Tubi, and it should be interesting. They said they'll have better lighting this time.
Okay. That's a plus.
That's a plus, yeah, definitely.
We love a good lighting.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that'll be the next gig. And I should be good to go for that. I did have to move some stuff around because of my surgery and because of my ambitious nature
Yes.
to keep working. So that'll be my next show. And then I have February 10th, I think I have 2 shows, the Iron Horse in Ambridge
Okay.
with Amanda Averill and some folks. And then that same night, I may be going to do a second show at Arcade.
Damn.
And then the following night, I'll be at the Parkway with Robert Puncher from New York, who was my connect to the New York shows. I'll be doing a show at Parkway. And then I think the following week, the 18th, we're doing The Dirt with Matt Light.
Very cool.
It's the Burgh Bus edition. So it's the comedians, not all of them, but maybe a little more than half of us who do the Burgh Bus. We're actually going to be doing a comedy show together
Oh, that's going to be fun.
at the it's a Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, I believe. I think that's February 18th. And then I have something coming up. I just got booked for February 24th in Ohio, but all of that will be on my website.
You have to check out our website. Her website is pure gold. It has clips on it, funny little snippets about
thank
her.
you.
I loved it. I'm excited to see you on that show. You have to tell me when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
literally can't wait to watch that.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of shit coming up.
I do,
girl.
yeah, I do. It's exciting. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me on ChrissyCosta.com. And I think I mentioned my boomer
Your
bestie
boomer,
put it
yes,
together.
the boomer bestie, a BB.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm going to be putting merchandise up because we do some. We have a little company called Spaghetto Art, which is like it was like two Italian girls living in the hood, so we called it Spaghetto.
I love that.
But since 2015 we've been making art together. She's a photographer, I'm a writer, and obviously I do comedy, so there's some funny stuff in there. We just do different types of art, but that I have that spread out through social media. I kind of want to hone it and like put it on my website. Make it available for people.
I want to check it out.
Yeah, now that I'm grown up. So
put all the things on place, and then where can people find you?
For that website or
just on your social medias.
Oh,
too.
social media. There will be links on my website to get to my other social media, but right now Instagram is just Chrissy Costa. Facebook, I think, is one Chrissy Costa or something. TikTok, I'm still experimenting. I'm still trying to figure TikTok out. I'm on there, but I don't really post much. I might have my 11-year-old niece help me with that.
Oh yeah, that's the ideal.
She
person
seems to have
help
TikTok
you.
down. Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah. But in terms of finding shows, ChrissyCosta.com is the place to go. But yeah,
the website. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thanks
podcast.
for having me. Yeah.
This was so fun.
It was.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.